This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushunman. Here we speak truth to power. Now here we don't criticize, but if we must criticize, we'll only do it on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we are in the service of God and country. This is the voice of the people, and the voice of the people is the voice of God. Now today we have a number of issues to look at, and I would need you to come along as we go deep into these very important issues. My brother, my sister. Now, the very first story I would like to look at today is coming from treenews.com, my own treenews.com. And it says, Bawumia will design a long-term framework to deal with city depreciation. Deputy Finance Minister is the one saying this. So I read. Deputy Finance Minister Dr. Stephen Amoah has hinted that Dr. Bawumia will come up with a long-term framework to deal with the recurring city depreciation when he assumes office as president. Now, speaking to journalists on Wednesday, May 29, 2024, Dr. Amoah said the depreciation of the city is a problem suffered by various governments and not peculiar to the Akufo-Addo administration. Now, the former Microfinance and Small Loans Center, that's Maslock boss, an MP for Inshaisu, blamed the woes of the city on the import-driven economy of the country. He said only persons exhibiting intellectual dishonesty and suffering conscious incompetence will blame the depreciation of the city on the current government. The problem, he noted, needs a nationalistic approach to curb it. In his own words, he said, city depreciation is a ritual problem. I agree with you. It's not because of one particular government, unless one is suffering from conscious incompetence or displaying intellectual dishonesty, that would say that the city depreciation is NPP government. It's an issue that needs nationalistic attention. So far as we keep on being import-driven, we would be having problems with city depreciation because we import almost everything. But inshallah, Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, next year, if he comes, we are going to design a long-term framework to deal with the city. Now, this gentleman here was my senior at T. Ahmadiya Secondary School, Kumasi. We used to call him Sticker. He was a nice guy. But he has allowed himself to become a stooge. He has allowed himself to suffer brain hemorrhage, political brain hemorrhage. These are the villains who are destroying our nation, Ghana. And I'm so ashamed that I went to school with this guy. My brother, can I go into the nitty-gritties of this? Watch this. Mahmoud Bawumia was the same guy who said that when the foundations are weak, the exchange rate will what? Expose you. Was he suffering from political unconsciousness, or was he in a political coma? Maybe he was suffering from political pokpok. Today, Sticker comes to tell us that, oh, it is a ritual problem. It's not a problem of the NPP, neither is it a problem of the NDC, and in fact, it's a problem of the NDC and the NPP, and outside that is a problem of the whole world. It's a cowardly way of facing the bull and taking the bull by the horn. It hurts me when people have to hide their heads in the soil like ostriches when they should be responsible. How can you go to T. Ahmadiya Secondary School, such a great school, and talk like a toddler who just entered the kindergarten? I'm shocked. Bawumia cannot do it now until he's voted as president. When the president himself told us the reason he brought Bawumia in as his vice president, or better still his running mate at the time, was because of his economic acumen. One other reason was because of his geopolitical positioning. At the end of it all, my brother, my sister, Sticker tells us that what Bawumia said a few years back, that when the foundations are weak, the foundations of the economy are so weak, the exchange rate would be the meter for which we would measure your incompetence. All of a sudden, it is no longer true. It's a ritual problem. It's a problem that is being exuded every now and then by every government across the world. Oh, what an escapist way of being irresponsible. If any Ghanaian votes for Bawumia, then I know you are an enemy of Ghana. How can such a man, lying between his teeth, palpably incompetent, worse than incompetent? In fact, Bawumia is a walking certificate of incompetence. Bawumia is a walking certificate of failure. The more I hear his name, the more my temperature rises. I am so disappointed in this guy. He has the effrontery to still go around campaigning. What does he tell the people when he goes out? It hurts me that Mahama would stoop so low and debate with such a walking certificate of failure. Can you believe this? Listen to what Sticker is saying. It is a ritual problem, the cedi depreciation, and for that matter, do not blame it on anybody. A few years back, Bawumia used it as the backbone of his campaign. And Nana Akufo-Addo applauded him. They hoodwinked the whole of Ghana into believing that this was an economic whiskey. We all clapped for him because we wanted the cedi to rise. We kicked Mahama out. In fact, we were ready to slaughter Mahama and feed him to the vultures as a sacrifice. My brother, my sister, to see our nation grow when the foundations are weak, the exchange rate shall expose you. Today, my brother, my sister, it's no longer true. It's a ritual problem. It's a problem with every government. Oh, what a very irresponsible way of speaking. And I'm so ashamed of Sticker. Was this not the same guy a few weeks ago was crying on camera that the nation had been betrayed by some people who were refusing to speak the truth? The next day you can politic like this. It's a shame. I wish I could use stronger words, but for decency's sake, I'm going to drop it here. As for Bawumia, I repeat it. If he becomes the next president of the nation, I am out of this country. And I keep saying it over and over. Any country will be better than a Bawumia ruled country. I said he's a clear manifestation of a walking certificate of failure. A man who was touted as an economics whiz kid, a man who was the key to our economics problem. He told us he had arrested the dollar. In plain words, he did not speak tongues, neither did he speak gibberish. He spoke plain English that he had arrested the dollar, locked up the dollar permanently. He did not throw the key into the sea, he gave it to the IGP. Today, the IGP himself cannot find the dollar, let alone the key to open the door to the dollar. Such a joker. You think we are jokers? Such a joker. You think we are jokers? You can come and tell us Anansi stories every now and then. Play with our sensibilities. Some of us are so deeply rooted in the heritage of this nation. This is all we have. We are not dual citizenships of any nation. This is the only nation we have. Anybody who jokes with this nation, we shall joke with him. We shall squeeze his balls. Hallelujah. Yabo! Let me just look at this as related to what we just discussed. This one is coming from City Newsroom, and it says, Bank of Ghana refutes claims. Bank of Ghana refutes claims of Ghana becoming a dual currency state. And I read, now the Bank of Ghana has responded to an article titled, Is Ghana Becoming a Dual Currency State? The Rise of Yellow Currency, to correct some inconsistencies and misinformation. Now the article claimed electronic money was superseding the Ghanaian cedi, for which reason strategic measures had been taken to safeguard the use and relevance of the cedi. But the Communications Department of the BOG, in a statement issued on Thursday, May 30, clarified that in 2007, when licensing mobile money, Ghana decided on the bank-based model, while other jurisdictions rolled out the telco-based model. Listen to this. Hey, listen. You can use all the English you can. You can speak dictionary English. You can speak economics English. You can confuse the people for as long as you want. But one thing is clear. Ghana cedi is the worst performing currency in the whole of West Africa and beyond. 2, now the cedi dollar rate is running to an all-time high of 20 Ghana cedis per dollar if we are not careful by the end of this year. The geometric way at which the cedi is galloping down the lane as against the dollar is so alarmingly terrific. Bank of Ghana boss is sitting there talking big English. English he himself does not understand. The other day, John Kwachi came and unpatriotically told us to assume the dollar as the new currency of the nation. IEA boss. What a shame. Hey, the day you would accept the dollar as the legal tender of this nation, that day you should give up your independence. That day, give up your flag. That day, give out your national anthem and national pledge, because that is what you would be. Now, the currency of a nation is one of its major strategic sovereignties. I don't know how many people understand this. The independence of a country comes with a national flag and a national anthem and a national currency. If you do not have a national currency, it is equivalent to not being fully independent. After several years of independence, so-called think tanks are thinking about a dual currency economy. Some are saying that we should kick the cedi under the bus and go after the dollar. Oh, such hemorrhaged brains. Oh, such epileptic brains. Oh, people with frozen blood. Oh, people with no common sense of patriotism. Oh, sons of cockroaches and snakes. Oh, what a shame. I never knew this day would come, that my own nation, whose national currency called the cedi, named after cedi, my brother, my sister, the cowrie shell, will be relegated to the background, and people will be more interested in claiming a certain currency that God himself has refused. I leave it here. Now the next thing I quickly want to look at is taken from my Joy Online, and it says, report over 30 billion American dollar worth of gold smuggled from Africa in 2022. Jesus have mercy. 30 billion. My brother, this is not Ghana cedi. This is not Zimbabwean dollars. This is not Naira. This is 330 billion American dollars worth of raw yellow gold smuggled out of Africa in 2022 alone. Hallelujah. Smuggled. The word is smuggled. We did not export Even if we did export, it was illegal. In other words, it's not in the books. It was smuggled out, and money went into individual nepotistic pockets. Can I go deeper? Watch this. I decided to look at this story. And this is actually coming from Asasi Radio, a sympathetic government radio station. My brother, my sister, anything that this station says, my brother, especially about the government, should not be taken with a pinch of salt, especially when it relates to such serious stories like this. May I ask one question? What happened to the arrogant president Nana Akufo-Addo, who a few months ago was fingered as having been part of a certain gold smuggling clique? Do we all remember when Nana Akufo-Addo threatened Al Jazeera, wrote a letter to Al Jazeera, threatening Al Jazeera to retract and also apologize for smearing his name? There was a gold smuggler. I've forgotten his name. I don't care about his name. That gold smuggler, all the way from South Africa and beyond, said Nana Akufo-Addo was his lawyer. And he helped smuggle gold from out of Ghana, from the Ashanti, and some other such places. Fingered the government. In fact, Nana Akufo-Addo has been gold smugglers. Nana Akufo-Addo and the rest of them. He threatened Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera called his bluff. The arrogant, noise-making president has gone quiet from that time. Such a coward. I thought Nana Akufo-Addo was going to stand up and say, Al Jazeera, I ordered you to apologize and to retract because you have no facts and you spoke from your anal cavity. We will deal with you. Let's go to court. No, he rather went quiet, like a snake that has been smitten on the head, quietly waiting to recover. Hallelujah. Such a joker president. Nana Akufo-Addo should bow down his head in shame. Bow down your head in shame. Today they are talking about gold smuggling. In 2022, out of the $30 billion of gold smuggled out of this continent in 2022, how much came from Nana Akufo-Addo and his gold smuggling clique? What a shame. I'll leave it here. He thought Al Jazeera was GTV. He thought Al Jazeera was a Prensa TV that he could just write to, order to retract. And out of fear, they will retract and beg. Al Jazeera called the bluff of this arrogant government. Up till now, they are still suffering from pokpok bili. They can't utter a word. Such a shame. You have disgraced this nation. A serious country would have thrown Nana Akufo-Addo long away out of the bus. For so many reasons, these people are still in power. And they still have the effrontery to go around campaigning. Jokers. Another thing I want to quickly look at is taken from Ghana Web, and it says, let's meet in court. Martin Amidu dares Speaker Bagbin. And I read, Martin Amidu has dared Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin to take legal action against him if he believes Amidu's recent article defames him. Now the challenge comes amid a heated controversy sparked by Amidu's allegations of corruption and misuse of public funds by the Speaker. Amidu, a former special prosecutor, issued this challenge following a statement from the Speaker's communications unit demanding an apology for his publication dated May 26, 2024. Instead of retracting his statements, Amidu has doubled down, insisting on the truthfulness of his claims and inviting Bagbin to defend his integrity in court. I leave it here. I like things like this. When people believe that they are truthful and that they will go all end to defend the truth that they speak. I'm waiting to see what will happen in court. Now, if I followed this thing correctly, Martin Amidu said that Alban Bagby, the Speaker of Parliament, who is a self-confessed corrupt man. These are his words, not my words. A self-confessed corrupt man. And I agree with Martin Amidu. Of course, Bagby confessed. He's a self-confessed corrupt man, just like the many MPs that he cited in that confession. But the next thing is that Martin Amidu said that Alban Bagby met Akufo-Addo in Dubai. They jaw-jawed. And when he returned to Ghana, they decided to throw out a certain budget. Whatever it was, they decided to compromise their decision to be loyal and honest to the integrity of Ghana, but rather became partisan politicians. My brother, shall we go deeper? Alban Bagby said it's not true. The last time he met Nana Akufo-Addo outside the nation was several years ago. My brother, my sister, Amidu said it's a lie. He has all the facts. He has been asked to retract and apologize within 7 days. He's doubled down within 2 days. I am not retracting. I am not apologizing. I call your bluff. Let's go to court. I want to see how this would happen. Yes, Martin Amidu is a talkative. Yes, Martin Amidu is a letter writer. Yes, Martin Amidu is a coward. Yes, Martin Amidu is a man that we cannot trust in these times. But if it comes to the truth, and he says he stands by the truth, let's go to the court and let's see how the courts will handle this. Now, the last thing I would like to look at, because I've already run out of time, is this one taken from Peace FM Online. And it says, outrage as Nigeria changes national anthem. And I read, some Nigerians have expressed outrage after the country's national anthem was changed with little consultation. President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday signed into law the bill to revert to Nigeria's old national anthem, which was dropped by a military government in 1978. Now, the newly readopted anthem, which begins, Nigeria we hail thee, was written by Lillian Jean Williams in 1959. In fact, a year before Nigeria became independent. So this anthem was written at a time that Nigeria was not independent, right? And composed by Frances Berda. Now, speaking on his first anniversary in office, President Tinubu said the anthem symbolized Nigeria's diversity, but many have questioned his priorities and the cost of living crisis. Reacting online, some Nigerians said the country had more pressing problems, such as insecurity, rising inflation, and a foreign exchange crisis. I leave it here. I do not agree with Nigerians. I agree with the president. My brother, one of the most important things, the biggest priority for every nation, is what the nation stands for. If you don't stand on your 2 feet, how do you look for food? If you don't stand on your 2 feet, how do you even get confident to represent yourself in every endeavor? Your national anthem is one of the biggest things, but we've been trained to run after food no matter what. Hey, the other day, I saw 2 goats being led to the slaughter. It was Salah Day. They were going to be slaughtered, a male and a female. They were being pulled. All of a sudden, the male jumped on the female taking a quickie, very quick one, and everybody started laughing. You know why they were laughing? Wo yakotwa utia. Yakokun usi utia oya. The male goat was having a quickie, the last quickie before his head would roll. My brother, my sister, we live in a country where we don't care where we are being led to. We live on a continent where we don't care where we are being led to, whether it's the slaughterhouse or the cemetery. As long as we are given food to eat, we are cool, like the goats in this story. If you have a national anthem that does not represent you, a national anthem that is so racist, like the French national anthem. Allons enfants de la patrie, le jour de gloire est arrivé. Nos sanglants élevés. My brother, my sister, your national anthem is everything. Your national flag is everything. It represents the nation. If the Nigerian national anthem does not represent it, throw it away and get a better one that makes sense and represents the ingenuity of our people, the ancestral power and energy. I clap for Tinubu. He might be a bad president or a good one in the eyes of the Nigerian people. They know him better. But this decision is a Pan-Africanist one. It's not the only country in Africa that has changed its national anthem. It's a move in the right direction. After this, it's time now to deal with patriotism and the reorientation or socialization of the Nigerian people, to stop running after food, learn to go hungry so they can fix the nation. Same thing applies to Ghana.